My guilty pleasure is when I sit down to make a beat, I always want to make something mellow, chilled, something that you can smoke to. All my stuff just replicates a vibe where you think you can just sit down and just burn something. And that's mainly like, I think that's my go-to. Chill, zone, wavy type of sounds. I'm Abnormal Sleepz. I'm a musician, producer, DJ, writer, everything under the sun. um, I used to dance when I was younger. Um, my dad's a DJ as well. He's a sound man. A lot of people might not know that. What else? And I wear glasses. Not many people know that. They think I wear the gold frames for show, but they're actually lenses, so we'll give them that one. Music, it was just growing up in a household. I had a musical family. Music was running in my house every day. My dad was DJing parties and also the playgrounds, to be fair, because back then in my time it was all about coming to the playground with your bars. If you didn't have bars, it was like, what are you doing? So that's where it started for me, grassroots. So the first time I ever played live was probably in high school, and that would have been, I know it's not like a gig, but that would have been like a talent show with, I think it was Natasha, and we sang a song. Like, it was one of my very first songs that I'd done with like a vocalist, and that was the first time myself in front of a crowd. But in terms of seriously playing live, I couldn't tell you because it's that many gigs ago. It's like I'd be guessing basically. Basically that was all because of my previous project, so Meditape 2. He was a fan of that project. He heard it because he had a lot of mutual friends with myself, and one of them he was using for visuals, which was Carl John Visuals, Farrow, shouts to him. And through him seeing my stuff, working with Farrow very closely, he started to listen to my stuff, and then he just hit me up and was just like, let's work. So we spoke and then collaborated, and then that evolved into Kaleidoscope, the album. So a little bit about the work I've done with Abnormal Substance and BPM. So Abnormal Substance is basically a collective of like-minded brothers who have all grew up with each other, and we're basically a team, not so much a crew, but it's consisting of me, Padawan, Rome's, and PewDiePie, and originally Matt Real as well. But basically we're just a collective of people who make music, good vibes, and have literally been around each other for a lifetime. So we've created this sort of branding around ourselves to show people that not only are we individually talented people, we are a collective. And BPM, basically I started out with them hosting their raves, because basically they heard us spat bars and whatever, and those times I was doing a lot of grime and whatever, so I used to do their raves, which transpired into BPM becoming a label, an independent one. We released some music together and done a lot of events. BPM saw me through a lot of gigs, a lot of raves, a lot of circumstances that brought me to London and Manchester. So those two collectives are very, very, very important in my like journey that I've had over the few years. So yeah, man. My highlight so far in terms of connecting with artists, I think it's not a question of who, it's more of a question of me actually being able to harness my own skills in the studio and work with people that I never had the opportunity to. So in general, my highlight is actually pulling people like Fox and DRS into the studio and getting them to be a part of my album journey, working with people like Misha B and Pip Millett, who are some of the most amazing vocalists that you'll find come out of Manchester, you know, and that's all come from being in one room. So I think as a highlight for me, it's just being the fact that I've been able to sit down and work with a range of people rather than particularly one person that's may have been like a superstar. Do you know what I mean? Like at the moment, I listen to quite a bit of like Anderson .Paak, your Kendricks, your Coles, a lot of homegrown stuff. Who else? It's hard to say these days because I'm so caught up in the studio. But generally, it's people around me. But I have like a wide scope, like artists like Chronix, as I was just playing. Like I'll just play that in the day just to get me through and start my day off. You know what I mean? So, ooh. If I could describe my style in one word, calm. Calm. It's very casual. It's very casual, but I might wear that one piece that will stand out and make you think, oh, that's a nice little. And it make me seem like I'm dressed up, but I'm not. It's very calm. How I'm feeling, I think that determines the colour of what I wear and how I want to present myself on the day. For comfort, or because, for example, if I'm in the studio, if I want to feel good in myself, I'll wear something to feel good, but comfortability is more important. So I don't really watch anyone else's style. I just look for things that I like, piece them together, and as long as it makes me feel good, then I feel like I've styled myself pretty decent, you know what I mean? Balance in life and literally. So right now, as mentioned, Kaleidoscope's out now, the album. So right now I'm just pushing the album, the visuals. I'm producing a lot behind the scenes. I'm building sounds, and I'm preparing a lot of music that I have for next year. I've got a load of projects and collaborations with producers and artists. So right now I'm just finding my feet again in terms of music, improving the sound and collaboration. So you will see a lot of collaborations. You will see me producing a lot of tunes for people, and you will see a lot of Abnormal Substance, and that's what's going to happen. And I plan for shows as well, so line up a few shows and yeah man, do some more live stuff. My guilty pleasure is creating a sound that I would sit down and listen to and probably kick back and be able to listen to on repeat. It's a bit of a weird one, but you know, if someone comes to me and says create a beat, the first thing I'm making isn't going to be like a slap. It's going to be something quite pleasing, aesthetically pleasing to my ears, that'll allow me to slip into a zone where I can chill or hold a meditation. 5 years time, I expect to find myself on the roads doing non-stop shows. I expect myself to be a household name in my city and beyond. I expect myself to be producing for a range of your favourite artists, and I expect my fan base to be, if not double, triple the size it is now. Best thing I've learned, and the best piece of advice I probably took on myself, is basically not to watch anyone else and know yourself. That's most important, because without knowing yourself, you won't know your own music. You won't know where you sit. You won't know how to work with yourself in your own company and harness a sound. You know what I mean? It becomes like you become like a carbon copy of someone else if you don't know yourself. And even in that, you're stopping yourself from being distracted by watching other people's paths, because you learn that your path is your only path, and it's different to everybody else's. No one's path, no one person's path is the same. And that's one thing that I've learned. And you know, coming up, it was very hard not to look left or right at who's doing what or whatever, but then taking on that and just focusing on me has helped me elevate. So yeah, coming from Manchester just means hard working, straight up northern, unapologetic, and that's what we are. And it means a lot in the sense that, you know, in certain places like your Londons, where you've got more exposure to certain things, certain people, whereas we didn't have, and we don't have that infrastructure here, which is building now. So in that sense, it's molded us into a specific type of person that can work and push on and get the most out of any situation that we can. So it means a lot to be from Manchester. One thing I would say is, I want to touch on Manchester right now and the growth of Manchester. Now, the thing is, everything is great in terms of we see more artists come through and we see more artists get the exposure that's needed, but I can't help but say even more so that we do need that infrastructure in our city. We do need the people that are going to be on the ground, who want to be the A&Rs, who want to create their own labels, who want to create their own publishing companies, who want to be distribution. Like, we need those people, because not everybody can be in the limelight. So I think more importantly, we will see that we'll find a massive shift in the scene itself if we have more people in the background doing the work that the artists can't do themselves. And I think that's important, so I just wanted to make that point.